He's the best content creator alive, but as a business operator, he's usually way in over his head. Today, we're going to break down the story of MrBeast's business empire, the wins, the failures, the near misses, and the risks. Specifically, we'll do a quick dive and discuss what went wrong with Beast Burger, Feastables, Lunchly, Beast Games, and his newest plan, Beast Phone Service. Yes, this is not a joke. And then near the end, I'm going to give him the advice that he desperately needs to hear. Advice that could perhaps set his bearings straight. I don't know. And maybe, hopefully, save him from burning out. So let's get into it. What's the pattern behind his chaos? When you go through all of the businesses MrBeast has created, the burgers, the chocolate bars, the kids' lunches, the giant game shows, the tech products, and now the phone company, you realize something very important. He's not failing because he's not smart. He's failing because he keeps moving into industries where his strengths don't matter and his weaknesses are exposed. It's like he sees a shiny opportunity, he sprints to it full speed, assuming the skills that make him great at YouTube will somehow make him great at everything else. But business doesn't work like that. And each failure shows why. Let's start with none other than Beast Burger, a situation where you don't control the product. Beast Burger exploded out of nowhere. Instead of building real restaurants, he used ghost kitchens. Existing restaurants cooking Beast Burgers in their own kitchens. It sounded smart, it sounded modern, it sounds like a recipe for disaster too. And there was the big problem. MrBeast didn't control any of the kitchens. So people got raw burgers, cold fries, missing ingredients, sloppy packaging, burnt meat, weird orders, and food that looked nothing like the pictures. This wasn't rare. It happened so often that by 2023, there were 1,000 viral posts documenting all these failures. And Beast Burger wasn't small either. It generated over $100 million in revenue in under 2 years. But there's no evidence it ever produced meaningful profit. And given the lawsuits and his public comments, it's reasonable to say profitability was almost certainly lacking. In fact, Jimmy said publicly that the deal was horrible, and he tried to shut it down because it was hurting his brand, not helping it. His business partner refused, and the entire relationship ended in lawsuits and public embarrassment. Lesson learned? No matter how big you are, you can't build a business on a system you don't control. Feastables was different. This one felt like it had a real chance. The launch was massive. It reportedly did 10 million in sales in its first 72 hours, and fans cleared shelves at Walmart nationwide. Behind the scenes, though, was the pressure. It was enormous. Factories couldn't keep up. Chocolate melted during shipping. Bars got chalky. Cocoa prices jumped nearly 50%. This is a big headwind. And shelf space narrowed in some stores. Fans complained about recipe changes. And Feastables wasn't a failure financially per se. It did roughly 200 to 250 million in 2024 in revenue. And investors even said it turned some kind of a profit. But the company showed drastic reductions in growth over time, and the supply chain issues were unhandleable. This wasn't a scam, but it was overhype outrunning operations. And here's the key. You can go viral instantly, sure, especially if you have a platform like MrBeast does, but a manufacturing plant can't go viral. His opportunity was big, but the strengths he had didn't help the weaknesses of global manufacturing issues. You can't outhype logistics. Then there's Lunchly, where trust died overnight. Even though Lunchly wasn't his own company per se, he promoted it, and he stood behind it. And that means the fallout hit him too. Lunchly promised healthier lunch for kids, and early sales were strong, around 5 million in their first 11 weeks, which is insane for a brand new product. But then videos started popping up online. Mold on the cheese, mold on bread, soggy packaging, slimy textures, weird smells, discoloration, Parents were horrified. Retailers pulled back. The brand collapsed within a matter of weeks. Lunchly may have been on track for $20 to $25 million a year, but profitability died instantly once trust died. Food safety is serious. One moldy lunch kit can destroy a company. Attention can launch a product, sure, but attention cannot save it from quality problems. And then we have Beast Games. Beast Games was a bit of a fiasco. It looked amazing, huge sets, massive casts, weeks of filming. The final video blew up. Everything he touches goes viral, but Jimmy later admitted the truth. He lost over $10 million on the project. The total production cost was over $50 million, which is more than many Netflix seasons. So while it generated massive views, it generated negative profit. It wasn't a business. It was an unbelievably expensive video disguised as a company. Movies, TV shows, and game shows don't work on YouTube math. At some point, a company has to make money, not just hype. And then we get to the phone service, his latest swing and likely miss. So MrBeast isn't trying to build an actual smartphone. He's planning to launch a MrBeast branded phone service, the kind that runs on an existing carrier's network. It's called an MVNO, a mobile virtual network operator. If that sounds familiar, it's because Ryan Reynolds did the same thing with Mint Mobile, which T-Mobile later bought in a deal valued at up to $1.35 billion. So you can see almost the logic. If Ryan Reynolds can turn a phone service into a $1 billion exit, why can't I? So on the surface, it makes sense. MrBeast has 400 million subscribers across different platforms. If even a fraction of them signed up, it could be a very profitable, lucrative business. But MVNOs aren't just hype and branding. They depend on stable customer support, flawless billing systems, handling port-ins and number transfers, dealing with outages and service complaints, and offering competitive pricing, and extremely low churn. These are the exact things that don't run on viral energy. This requires impeccable micromanagement. And Mint Mobile didn't win because Ryan Reynolds promoted it. It won because it had deep telecom expertise behind the scenes, disciplined cost control, and consistent service quality. Years of operational refinement. That's what people overlook. And here's the problem for MrBeast. More than 50% of his core audience are teens who don't pay for their own phone bills. They can't just switch carriers because MrBeast asks them to. MVNOs can make money, sure, big money, but only within slow, disciplined execution, something that hasn't shown up in his other ventures. MrBeast Burger, quality failures he couldn't control, Feastables, supply chain strain, Lunchly, safety issues, Beast Games, massive overspending. A phone service isn't entertainment, it's infrastructure. And people get angry fast if their service drops, their bill is wrong, or their number gets lost. This isn't the craziest risk he's taken, but it's by far the most complex, and it's not just let's sell a phone plan pitch that he might be making it out to be. It's a far cry from the $1 billion Mint Mobile model that he's hoping to replicate. So what's the real lesson? What's the big takeaway here? It's simple. MrBeast is incredible at getting attention. He may be the best creator alive, but attention is a front-end skill. Operations are a back-end reality. And every time he's stepped into a complex industry, food service, candy, manufacturing, refrigerated logistics, large-scale production, and now telecom, he runs into the same wall every time. His strengths don't solve the problem. His weaknesses cause the problems. He sees O for opportunity in the SWOT analysis everywhere. He assumes his S in the SWOT analysis strengths will carry him, and he ignores W, the weaknesses in operations, and he overlooks T, threats, like lawsuits, safety issues, regulations, and logistics. That's the pattern. And now here's the advice he needs to hear. Jimmy, if you're watching this, you built something almost no one on earth has ever built. You changed YouTube. You changed online entertainment. You made the entire world rethink what content creator even means and even is. That's legit, that's real, that's extraordinary. But now you're at a crossroads. You're jumping into more industries, more products, and more deals than ever. Food, chocolate, lunches, games, toys, telecom, fintech, mobile services, all at once. And it makes me wonder, what do you actually want? Not the internet's expectations, not investor hype, not what sounds cool in a pitch deck. What do you personally want? Ask yourself that question, because it looks like you're sprinting after every opportunity you see, not out of passion, but out of momentum. And momentum is dangerous when it replaces clarity. You need to sit down and ask yourself the fundamentals. Do a SWOT analysis and ask, what are my real strengths? Not the ones people assume, the ones that truly move the needle. What are my weaknesses? The ones that keep showing up again and again that I can improve on. Operations, consistency, supplier management, logistics, support. You get in over your head. And what are the real opportunities that actually match my skills? Not the shiny ones, the aligned ones. And what threats could destroy what I built? Lawsuits, bad partners, product failure, quality control, burnout, reputation damage. Because here's the truth. You're not losing because you're lacking ambition. You're losing because your ambition is landing you in projects and places where your strength doesn't follow and line up. And disciplined execution, the boring, slow, invisible work becomes impossible when you're stretched across 10 different industries that you're not really passionate about. And ask yourself honestly, are you truly passionate about phone plans, food safety, lunch kits, supply chains, warranties, retail logistics, and customer support queues? Or are you chasing them because the dollar signs look exciting and your audience gives you a false sense of invincibility? Jimmy, you're not failing, you're unfocused, and that's fixable. But only if you stop letting opportunity pull you everywhere and start letting clarity pull you forward. Attention built your empire, focus will keep it standing, and discipline, the one thing nobody sees, is the thing that will decide whether this becomes a long-lasting legacy or a story of how the biggest creator in internet history got stretched too thin. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe, and share this with others. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.